In the celestial realm, where the cosmos danced to the rhythm of divine order, there exists a hierarchy of angels, each embodying unique virtues and powers. At the base of this ethereal pyramid stands Archangel Azrael, the compassionate guide of souls, his gentle touch ushering them into the afterlife's embrace. Ascending the ladder of celestial might, we encounter Archangel Metatron, the celestial scribe, whose very presence sparks transformation and heralds divine communication. With each stroke of his celestial pen, destinies are written and futures foretold. Next in line is Archangel Uriel, whose wisdom illuminates the darkest corners of existence. His radiant light cuts through the shadows, revealing the path to enlightenment and understanding. Close on his heels comes Archangel Raphael, the healer and guide, whose soothing touch brings solace to the afflicted and direction to the lost. With each tender caress, wounds are healed and hearts are uplifted. But it is Archangel Gabriel who commands attention, the herald of God's will, whose clarion call echoes through the heavens, announcing the dawn of new beginnings and the fulfillment of divine prophecies. Known as the messenger angel, Gabriel is believed to have delivered important messages from God, including announcing the birth of Jesus to Mary. Yet, even Gabriel must yield to the might of Archangel Michael, the warrior prince of heaven, whose flaming sword and unwavering courage stand as bulwarks against the forces of darkness. With a righteous fury, he defends the celestial realm from all who would seek to sow chaos and despair. And beyond them all stand the cherubim, with their 4 wings and 4 heads. A cherub is one of the unearthly beings who directly attend to God, according to Abrahamic religions. The numerous depictions of cherubim assign to them many different roles, such as protecting the entrance of the Garden of Eden, guardians of God's throne and bearers of divine knowledge. Their vigilance knows no bounds as they watch over the celestial court, their eyes ever fixed on the glory of the Almighty. Above them soar the thrones, celestial chariots bearing the weight of God's majesty. The thrones, also known as Ophanim, and Galgalin, are creatures that function as the actual chariots of God, driven by the cherubs. They are characterized by peace and submission. God rests upon them. Thrones are depicted as great wheels containing many eyes, and reside in the area of the cosmos, where material form begins to take shape. They chant glorious to God, and remain forever in his presence. They mete out divine justice, and maintain the cosmic harmony of all universal laws. And highest of all are the seraphim, burning with divine love, their 6 wings aflame with the fervor of their devotion. With voices like thunder, they sing praises to the Most High, their fiery presence illuminating the heavens with the radiance of their adoration. Seraphim angels, one of the highest orders in various religious traditions, serve as guardians of God's throne, symbolizing purity and illumination. They stand as celestial beings of intense love and spiritual enlightenment, often depicted in religious texts and art surrounded by divine light. Such is the celestial tapestry, woven with threads of light and shadow, where angels of every rank and station fulfill their sacred duties, each playing their part in the eternal dance of creation. From Adam, the first man, from his son Seth was Enoch, and his son Kenan, and his son Mahalalel, and his son Jared, and his son Enoch, and his son Methuselah, who was the oldest man to ever live, and his son Lamech, and the son of Lamech Noah. Now, in the book of Enoch, after God's creation, and it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of the heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. And Semjaza, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then swear they all together and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And they were in all 200, who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon, and they called it Mount Hermon. because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And these are the names of their leaders: Samlazaz, their leader, Arakelba, Ramiel, Kokablel, Tamlel, Ramlel, Danel, Ezekiel, Barakijal, Asiel, Armaros, Batarel, Ananel, Zakiel, Samsapil, Satarel, Turel, Jomjael, Seriel. These are their chiefs of tens. And all the others together with them took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one, and they began to go in unto them, and to defile themselves with them. And they taught them charms and enchantments, and the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. And they became pregnant, and they bare great giants, whose height was 3,000 ells, who consumed all the acquisitions of men. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. And they began to sin against birds and beasts and reptiles and fish, and to devour one another's flesh and drink the blood. Then the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones. And Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth and the art of working them, and bracelets and ornaments, and the use of antimony, and the beautifying of the eyelids, and all kinds of costly stones, and all coloring tinctures. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray, and became corrupt in all their ways. Semjaza taught enchantments, and root cuttings. Armaros the resolving of enchantments, Barakijal, taught astrology. Kokabel the constellations, Ezekiel the knowledge of the clouds, Arakiel the signs of the earth, Shamsiel the signs of the sun, and Seriel the course of the moon. And as men perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven. And then Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from heaven, and saw much blood being shed upon the earth, and all lawlessness being wrought upon the earth. And they said one to another, The earth made without inhabitant cries the voice of their cryingst up to the gates of heaven. And now to you, the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men make their suit, saying, Bring our cause before the Most High. And they said to the Lord of the ages, Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, and God of the ages, the throne of thy glory standeth unto all the generations of the ages. And thy name holy and glorious, and blessed unto all the ages. Thou hast made all things, and power over all things hast thou, and all things are naked and open in thy sight. And thou seest all things, and nothing can hide itself from thee. Thou seest what Azazel hath done, who hath taught all unrighteousness on earth, and revealed the eternal secrets which were preserved in heaven, which men were striving to learn. And Semjaza, to whom thou hast given authority to bear rule over his associates. And they have gone to the daughters of men upon the earth, and have slept with the women, and have defiled themselves, and revealed to them all kinds of sins. And the women have borne giants, and the whole earth has thereby been filled with blood and unrighteousness. And now, behold, the souls of those who have died are crying and making their suit to the gates of heaven, and their lamentations have ascended, and cannot cease because of the lawless deeds which are wrought on the earth. And thou knowest all things before they come to pass, and thou seest these things, and thou dost suffer them, and thou dost not say to us what we are to do to them in regard to these. Then said the Most High, the Holy and Great One spake, and sent Uriel to the son of Lamech, and said to him, Go to Noah, and tell him in my name, hide thyself, and reveal to him the end that is approaching, that the whole earth will be destroyed, and a deluge is about to come upon the whole earth, and will destroy all that is on it. And now instruct him that he may escape, and his seed may be preserved for all the generations of the world. This is where God instructs Noah to build an ark. And again the Lord said to Raphael, Bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness, and make an opening in the desert which is in Dudael, and cast him therein, and place upon him rough and jagged rocks, and cover him with darkness, and let him abide there forever, and cover his face that he may not see light. And on the day of the great judgment he shall be cast into the fire, and heal the earth which the angels have corrupted, and proclaim the healing of the earth, that they may heal the plague, and that all the children of men may not perish through all the secret things that the watchers have disclosed, and have taught their sons. and the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin. And to Gabriel said the Lord, proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication, and the children of the watchers from amongst men, and cause them to go forth. Send them one against the other, that they may destroy each other in battle. For length of days shall they not have. And no request that they, their fathers, make of thee shall be granted unto their fathers on their behalf. For they hope to live an eternal life, and that each one of them will live 500 years. And the Lord said unto Michael, Go, bind Semjaza and his associates who have united themselves with women, so as to have defiled themselves with them in all their uncleanness. And when their sons have slain one another, and they have seen the destruction of their beloved ones, bind them fast for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth, till the day of their judgment and of their consummation, till the judgment that is for ever and ever is consummated. In those days they shall be led off to the abyss of fire, and to the torment and the prison in which they shall be confined forever. And whosoever shall be condemned and destroyed will from thenceforth be bound together with them to the end of all generations. And destroy all the spirits of the reprobate and the children of the watchers, because they have wronged mankind. Destroy all wrong from the face of the earth, and let every evil work come to an end, and let the plant of righteousness and truth appear. And it shall prove a blessing. The works of righteousness and truths shall be planted in truth and joy forevermore. Did you like the story? Please watch more on our YouTube channel. Like, share and subscribe. Why did the demons ask Jesus for the pigs? In the face of adversity, Jesus remained resolute, refusing to yield to the temptations that sought to divert him from his divine mission. And with each temptation overcome, he emerged victorious, demonstrating his unwavering dedication to the path of righteousness and obedience to God's will. Thus, the confrontation between Jesus and Satan in the wilderness served as a testament to the power of faith, the triumph of righteousness, and the victory of light over darkness. It was a pivotal moment in the ministry of Jesus, affirming his identity as the Son of God and laying the foundation for his transformative mission of salvation for all humanity. According to Matthew 16:16, Matthew 14:33, Matthew 3:17, and Matthew 17:5, the demons' recognition of Jesus as the Son of God demonstrates their acknowledgement of another stronghold of Satan, the spiritual world, being invaded and dominated. This recognition, coming from the demons, signifies their awareness that Jesus' arrival heralds the conquering of darkness and the establishment of God's kingdom on earth. The initial encounter between Jesus and Satan, as detailed in Matthew chapter 4, verses 1 to 11, showcased Jesus' triumph over temptations. In the ancient region of Gerasenes, situated along the shores of the Sea of Galilee, lived a man named Malchus. He was plagued incessantly by dark forces beyond human understanding. Jesus further demonstrated his dominion over two significant domains of Satan: spiritual authority over demons in Matthew chapter 8, verses 28 to 34, and power over illness by healing a paralytic in Matthew chapter 9, verses 1 to 8. Following a miraculous calming of a storm, Jesus and his disciples resumed their journey across the Sea of Galilee. The subsequent event, recounted in Matthew chapter 8, verses 28 to 34, shifts the focus solely to Jesus, omitting any mention of his disciples. When Jesus approached, the demons within Malchus trembled in fear, recognizing the divine power that stood before them. Desperate to escape their impending judgment, they pleaded with Jesus not to torment them, but to send them into a nearby herd of swine grazing on the hillside. In their desperation, the demons saw an opportunity to prolong their existence by inhabiting the swine. They cared not for the consequences of their actions, but sought only to avoid facing divine justice. And so, Jesus, in his wisdom, permitted the demons to enter the herd of pigs. Instantly, the once peaceful swine was seized by a frenzy, driven mad by the presence of the demonic forces within them. With a cacophony of squeals and grunts, the herd rushed headlong down the steep bank and into the sea, where they perished in the waters below. As the waves settled and the chaos subsided, Malchus found himself at last free from the torment that had plagued him for so long. Clad in his right mind, he knelt before Jesus, grateful for the deliverance he had received. The events at Gerasenes marked another decisive victory in Jesus' mission to conquer evil and establish the reign of God's kingdom on earth. Enjoyed this story? Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more inspiring tales and spiritual insights. Now, why pigs? One might wonder. It was not out of any affinity for these creatures that the demons made their request. No, it was a desperate ploy, for they knew that to enter the pigs would grant them a temporary reprieve from the fate they feared most. Their haste to escape, the demons cared not for the consequences of their actions. They cared not for the livelihood of the swineherds or the well-being of the innocent animals. The demons' request for the pigs served as a stark reminder of the lengths to which they would go to avoid facing divine justice. Yet, in the end, it was the mercy and compassion of Jesus that triumphed over darkness, bringing hope and restoration to Malchus and the troubled region of Gerasenes. The news of Malchus's transformation spread like wildfire throughout the land, stirring hearts and minds with awe and wonder. The once possessed man now walked among his people, a living testament to the power of Jesus' love and the boundless mercy of God. Malchus became a beacon of hope in the region, sharing his testimony of deliverance with all who would listen. His story inspired countless others to turn to Jesus, seeking healing and redemption for their own afflictions. And so, the events at Gerasenes became a defining moment in the ministry of Jesus, demonstrating his authority over the forces of darkness and his unwavering commitment to bring salvation to all who would receive it. The outcome of the exorcism is not mentioned in Matthew, but Mark and Luke note that the demon-possessed man from Gerasenes begged to join Jesus. However, Jesus instructs him to go home and tell his family and friends how much God has done for him, as in Luke 8 verses 38 to 39, and Mark 5 verses 18 to 19. Upon seeing the disciples with Jesus, the former demoniac desires to be like them, but Jesus sends him back to his hometown to testify. In a sense, the 12 would be fishers of men, but among his own people, the Gentile now follower of Jesus would be a fisher of men. However, in light of verses 33 and 34, the loss of the herd becomes a means to expose the true values of the people in the area. They prefer swine to people and hogs to the Savior, as in Matthew 8, verse 34. This verse reveals the sinful character of humanity. As Jesus departed from the region, leaving behind a transformed Malchus and a community forever changed by his presence, the echoes of his teachings and miracles continued to reverberate throughout the land, drawing people from far and wide to experience the transformative power of his love. Jesus, and his message is not based on ethnicity or cultural origin, but on the disposition of the heart to respond to him. The narrative in Matthew also highlights that opposition to Jesus transcends racial and cultural barriers. In the Acts of the Apostles, we see that the gospel extends beyond Jewish borders. Reaching various cultures and peoples, the confrontation between Jesus and the demons at Gerasenes was not just about the deliverance of one man, but about the triumph of light over darkness, good over evil, and hope over despair. Following this transformative event, the people of the region were both amazed and fearful of Jesus' power and authority. Malchus, once a tormented soul, now walked among them as a living testament to Jesus' miraculous works. His testimony, coupled with the astounding events that unfolded at Gerasenes, stirred the hearts and minds of many, drawing them closer to the truth of Jesus' message. Therefore, the episode of the Gadarenes and the subsequent lessons highlight a key principle of Christianity. Salvation and God's truth are open to all, and the true obstacle is human reluctance to abandon sin and follow Christ. This truth challenges followers of Christ to examine their own lives, priorities, and loyalties, aligning them with the teachings and example of Jesus. In conclusion, our question of the day is, when did you first feel the presence of God? Comment below and subscribe to the channel. Feel free to watch other videos on the channel. May God bless you